and privilege for me to be invited to deliver the welcome address on the occasion of the celebration of the 2010 World Food Day. On this very important occasion, I wish to extend a hearty welcome to all of you gathered here this morning. I also wish to express my deepest appreciation and gratitude to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and the organizers for the kind gesture and the opportunity afforded me to interact with you. Mr. Chairman, I am reliably informed that the theme for this year's celebration is United Against Hunger. I find this theme very appropriate, given the fact that the world today is confronted with the problem of dwindling food stock and its associated high food prices. It is therefore important that we use this historic celebration to intensify our individual and collective efforts to institute plausible and pragmatic mechanisms to tackle the crisis we face. Mr. Chairman, if you notice, our annual festivals, I'm talking about Ghana, festivals around this country yearly are meant to hoot at hunger. And these festivals are celebrated yearly for plentiful of food. If you look at the Ghans, for example, the Gandangbe, we celebrate the Homowo Festival, and that festival is meant to hoot at hunger. And the celebration is done around what we call kwekwe, that is the festival food. And the main component of the kwekwe is the corn. If you look at the Dangbes, their festivals are organized around mayeng, yam, and at certain places wheat. So you see, what we are doing here today is like what we do during our festivals, to hoot at hunger and to welcome the new year in the midst of plentiful of food. And even if you look at our libation pouring, it also explains our culture, that food is always at the center of our lives. We say that, awo, agmahe, blekujo, insuo, enam, edibine, toto. So again, you see, if you want to go into our culture, it's all about how to produce food to feed ourselves. And that is why I want to welcome the celebration that we are having today, which is also organized around food. Mr. Chairman, the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, defines hunger as the consumption of fewer than 1,800 kilocalories a day. That is the minimum required to live a healthy and productive life. The 2010 Global Hunger Index, GHI, shows that 8 of the 9 countries where hunger is increasing are from sub-Saharan Africa. This year's study showed that 29 of them, mostly in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia, have levels of hunger described as extremely alarming or alarming. It is, however, refreshing to note that Ghana have shown an improvement over the last 10 years. It is very encouraging to also observe that between the 1990 and the 2010 Global Hunger Index, Ghana saw a very significant improvement in food production. Mr. Chairman, We as a nation must, on a continuous basis, develop models that will ensure that social safety nets are in place to cushion the most vulnerable. Measures in this respect should include food distribution programs, cash transfer and credit schemes, various feeding programs, and employment schemes. All of these are intrinsically related and mutually exclusive. Let me also say that productive safety nets can play an important role in our quest for an answer for the phenomenon of hunger. This calls for measures such as provision of subsidies for seeds, fertilizers, and innovative approaches to crop insurance, mechanizing production activities, and improved storage facilities in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 925 million undernourished people in the world today. That means 1 in 7 people do not get enough food to be healthy and lead an active life. Hunger and malnutrition are, in fact, the #1 risk to health worldwide. In fact, among the key causes of hunger are natural disasters, conflict, poverty, poor agricultural infrastructure, and overexploitation of the environment. In recent times, financial and economic crises have also contributed in pushing more people into hunger. Hunger does not only weigh on the individual, it also imposes a crushing economic burden on the developing world. Indeed, economists estimate that every child whose physical and mental development is stunted by hunger and malnutrition stand to lose 5 to 10% in lifetime earnings. Mr. Chairman, among the Millennium Development Goals which the United Nations has set for the 21st century, halving the proportion of hungry people in the world is top of the list. Whereas good progress was made in reducing chronic hunger in the 1980s and the first half of the 1990s, hunger has been slowly but steadily rising for the past decade. I'm aware that hunger could be attributed to a number of factors. Nonetheless, the factors are intrinsically related and are the same factors that have always deepened the plight of hunger on humanity. Some of these include low productivity of agriculture. The population growth rate is still high in developing countries. Investment in agricultural research and development are low in our developing world. Drastic rural-urban migration of the youth who are energetic enough to work in this sector. Slowdown of foreign direct investment. I believe that all the factors mentioned are surmountable. Thus, there is a need, therefore, for a shared responsibility by all stakeholders who matter in this drive. In fact, the involvement of everyone, such as civil society organizations, government, non-governmental organizations, and the media, in creating the awareness of hunger and the need to control it or eliminate it completely through education, announcements, and press conferences about food security will create and achieve the desired results we all crave for. Mr. Chairman, as we are all aware, agriculture is the mainstay of the Ghanaian economy. The sector contributes 35% of GDP and provides employment for about 60% of our people. Yet, the full force of the agricultural sector for driving the development processes and reducing hunger has not been properly harnessed and fully exploited. This underscores why the government, as part of its agricultural policy, aims to accelerate the modernization of agriculture. This policy takes into account the following: provide easier and faster access to marketing centers for agricultural produce, scale up credit support facilities for agricultural producers to modernize agricultural production, provide some subsidy for the agricultural sector for the procurement of improved seeds, grain breeders and stocks, and pesticides and fertilizers, expand irrigation infrastructure and the use of modern equipment to access combined harvests, etc. Mr. Chairman, consequently, government's approach for ensuring food security to all Ghanaians is to address simultaneously the issue of food availability and responses to crisis situation and nutritional problems through food production, strategic research, trade access to food, economic growth, and income.